Welcome to the Bombadcast.
What is up, guys? Welcome to the Bombadcast. We had some bizarro things happen just now. Yes, if you don't already know, we are talking about what, Gerald, the cannelled junkled?
Well, what's up, everybody? Today we are talking about or silence. What is your favorite thing? Not even what is your favorite. Like, what do you feel like is essential? What hits you?
Yeah.
Just talking about the opening, man. We're just gonna really take a deep dive.
Yes.
On the history of Star Wars, the fanfare before Star Wars.
Yes.
We're talking about the opening act
From the 1930s.
to the Star Wars.
Yes, definitely. What's the precursor to everything that we know about Star Wars? What brought Star Wars into existence, needless to say. But we got to mention one thing. I know we're on the Bombadcast. We're also a part of a pretty cool group. Jerry, take your left arm and extend it upward. Yes, Jerry, you're doing pretty good. We are part of the Beyond the Blast Doors.
Where'd my hand go? Oh, sorry, I forget how cameras work for a second.
What's that part from Anchorman? Isn't it like he's like, I don't know. Oh, it's Anchorman 2. Whenever
he's wearing the green
yes,
pants
green
or something.
Like, where are my legs? Oh
yeah.
no,
my legs are gone.
I have no legs. No, it's just like Jerry. I have no hand.
It's like, where'd it go?
We are part of the Beyond the Blast Doors network, and with that being said, we've got some fantastic other shows you should definitely watch or listen to in all this video format here on this YouTube page. I'm referring to Around the Galaxy podcast of Pete Futzer. I'm also talking about Postcards from the Galaxy's Edge. I'm also referring to Holo Chronicles, Beyond the Blast Doors Live, and streaming Star Wars. All these things daily uploads from this wonderful network full of fantastic people. We constantly text and talk, and if you want to get involved at a bigger level, you should come join our Patreon page. Yes, if you support us, you are... If you support us, you are for... I can't do my JFK very well. If you support us, you are supporting 6 other content creators. Is that I can't tell if that's supposed to be JFK or FDR or just like an old-timey newsman. It's Mayor
They all
Quimby.
kind of meld together after a while.
Well, if we're talking about 20th Century Fox, we're referring to the mayor of Springfield, Mayor Quimby, and he talks like JFK. If you're watching us, you probably should watch other people as well, because I know there's a handsome man right here, okay, and there's a handsome man right here, but there's also several other handsome men on the network, and they don't talk
Freaks
about...
me out. I'm looking for this handsome man you were talking about.
The most handsome, from what I've heard. Look at him, everyone. He's sticking stuff in his ears.
What are you talking about?
I've never met
Who's in my house?
Never met a more dad-looking dad before, daddy boy. You
just call me daddy. So Patreon, if you want to support us, you can not only if you go and support the Beyond the Blast Doors Network Patreon, you are not just supporting the Bombadcast. You probably don't want to. Don't worry, it's going to 5 other good shows, and then us.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yep.
Support quality content and the Bombadcast.
And the Bombadcasto.
Yeah, just a programming note for all you guys. If you are, you can't see it visually because I'm not recording outside, but if you hear booms and otherwise mortar shells and stuff like that, I live in Michigan and it is Memorial Day. And so we like our mortar shell fireworks in my part of Michigan.
I thought you were talking about the booms of the drums from this beautiful logo theme.
You know, it almost sounds exactly like that,
Yeah?
except for it's a little more like, explosive, I guess.
Okay.
It sounds more like, World War II is happening around my house. It's like all weekend, Memorial Day weekend. It's on New Year's Eve as well.
Sure.
And it's also the entire week of the 4th of July. I'm not joking.
So like,
I'm not joking. You can drive. In fact, one of our first years we lived up here.
Yeah.
We went to the firework. There's a big park that's right next door to our house.
Yeah.
We can see the fireworks display from our backyard. But before we lived in that house, we lived in an apartment across town. And we went to the fireworks display. Then Allison's uncle was going to go drop us off.
Mm-hmm.
We were driving down a street. No lie. Houses like this close together. And like fireworks out of every driveway. It felt like you were like driving through like...
That's crazy.
Like the stage during a Kiss concert.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, it was like both sides of the car. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Jerry,
it's legit up here. So
what did you bring up?
they take their fireworks very seriously.
What did you just...
Or liberally?
Did you say Kiss concert?
Oh, how is Paul doing? I almost called him Neil. He's not Neil Peart. I know.
No, Paul's doing fine. Paul is he's calling it staycationing. Anytime I walk up to him, I say, "Hey, how's your quarantine?" He's like, he's telling me how he doesn't quarantine, he staycations. I don't get it. I don't get it. But it's something he's been doing, and he's had roadies all in and out of his house, just moving gear in and out of it. And they're all wearing masks. They're all wearing Kiss official masks. So
like, do they have like a Gene Simmons tongue coming off the front of them or something?
One of them actually just covers one of their eyes. It's the star, and it doesn't cover his mouth. It's just they're wearing all Kiss merchandise, and like, it's literally just Marshall stacks are bringing them in and out, in and out. I can't figure it out, and I hear Paul directing them as to where to put stuff. So I don't know if he's got a concert going on. It's been a bizarre thing, but yeah, it's Paul. It's always going to be an adventure.
That's good.
It's always going to be.
Hey, Paul is he's a Paul.
I wonder
for sure.
You know what I've been thinking about? I wonder what he's going to tune in for one of these video episodes, because he has been kind of I don't know if he likes being on camera without the makeup, or
he's a little camera shy.
Maybe, yeah.
Except for his Folgers commercial.
Yes.
The camera loved him then, though. It was right there. But you know what? Besides the possibly masked and unmasked roadies coming in and out of his house, we should all kind of be more like Paul and say, like, no, it's a staycation. We're gonna try to be positive, right? We're gonna get through this together. We're gonna do a staycation. If you can't help but have the roadies march in and out of your house and stuff, just make sure they're at least washing their hands.
Yes.
Oh,
they do.
Mainly because they're gonna get. Not just because of the virus, but also because they're probably going to be rubbing like black and white face paint all over your furniture.
Yes.
Accidentally.
Yeah. It just happens.
Like a classic Tobias Funke situation.
Yes, it is.
They just blew themselves. So
in the shower. Okay, so I gotta bring this up because it's the topic of the show apparently. But
we talk about topics sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes. Jerry, you developed this idea out of nowhere, and like I had never really given it much thought until you texted
develop
us.
is a very generous word.
Well, it's interesting.
That.
It's interesting because like I think it's something people take for granted, maybe only because like a certain era of Star Wars has it, and then the next era doesn't. But like, is that a good or a bad thing? It's weird. I don't know. It's very interesting. Jerry, how did you come up with the idea dealing with this particular discussion? We're looking at it right now on the screen. How did you come up with that?
All right. Well, okay, so something that has always been like something that we as diehard fans discuss and debate. We discuss and I just burnt my tongue on coffee like 20 minutes ago,
should have
guys.
seen
and
it.
it is
It
like
was ridiculous.
It's full like shag carpet situation in there right now, like burn. And so
I'll show you
it
Jerry's
feels
face.
great.
I'll do a reenactment of it. Jerry went.
Are you gonna? Okay,
Jerry's
go for it. Go for it.
Make it my hippie cup.
That is surprisingly only a slight exaggeration. Yeah. You're not only a force for change, as your shirt says, you are a force of nature.
I'm glad I was wearing pants.
That's all I've got to say.
The past
What's
10
that?
recordings, I was just naked. I forgot. I would have got up, you would have saw everything.
It's like we gotta actually see. I got dressed up for the first couple of shows.
Yeah.
You know, like I put like a nice shirt on over or whatever.
Yeah,
you know, I looked kind of nice
too much
with my
work.
beanie on. But all of a sudden, summer hit Michigan like a brick, and my home doesn't have air conditioning. So I'm just going to tell you guys all about my life tonight. So anyway, I was watching Empire, my digital copy on Apple TV. I'm name dropping. Like I promise, we're not. If they want to sponsor us, Apple TV and all that kind of stuff, you can. But
It's funny. Jerry's like, I don't have air conditioning. I'm a hipster. And he's like,
but I have Apple TV.
He's like, but I got an Apple TV.
I am a hipster. If being a hipster is moving into a house that was built in the 40s and didn't have air conditioning, then yes, I am a hipster. Also, the people before us took it. Like it was foreclosed, so that's Anyway, it's a messy situation.
My dude.
I'm like telling you guys all these I'm telling all these weird, crazy details about my life tonight, and people are gonna be able to like pinpoint by all that information, like a Charlie Day wall in their basement with like the red string and stuff, and figure out where I live in Michigan. So
Hey Jerry.
yeah. Anyway,
back to this.
Yeah, back to the topic. So anyway, it's hot up here, and so now I'm in a t-shirt, and so we're talking about that. Okay. So I was watching Empire Strikes Back, my digital copy on iTunes, and it how it used to start out with like the Lucasfilm fanfare that replaced all of the Fox fanfares except for A New Hope, back when Disney first bought the franchise, right? Okay. So, I put it in. 20th Century Fox fanfare starts playing. Or I didn't put it in because I just clicked the button because it's a digital copy. So, and it starts playing, and I'm like, wait, it's like I had a Mandela effect. Like, did I just imagine all that? Did I just switch to another multiverse or something? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
And so I rewound. I'm like, no, sure enough, it's the Fox fanfare. So I got to thinking, why do we like notice that stuff? Like, look, not everyone would notice that. It's us that are like obsessed with these films and watch them over and over and over again. A lot of like, you talk to my mom or dad, they'd be like, they changed the music at the beginning? What? Was it? Isn't it not put out by Fox?
Dude, that's a good point.
With the mouse ears?
If you bring it to someone's attention, then they notice it. But I feel like no one, 5% of the insane Star Wars fans are going to notice it. But 95% of the people
and have
in the theaters,
like at least two differing opinions on it.
Yes, exactly. But
maybe more.
95% of the viewing audience, I just went right over their head. You know what I mean? In terms of The Force Awakens. I mean, it's just, you don't notice that kind of thing. It has not been present in 10 years for a Star Wars release. But you go see almost any other movie, you might get this logo, the Sony logo, or whatever, the Universal, whatever it may be. But that's the thing. You bring up a good point. You know what I noticed too? I was watching Disney Plus Empire Strikes Back. And guess what it had on there?
20th Century Fox, right?
20th Century Fox. And I was like, it's so weird because like...
And then it cuts to that new Lucasfilm, which is beautiful. The silver logo that kind of fades in and then fades. It's so gorgeous. I love that.
It's wonderful.
It's epic. But yeah. But what initially like really struck me is I was like, wait, do those versions even exist anymore?
Yeah.
The ones with the Lucasfilm fanfare, because I don't really have them anymore, I guess. But I think they might be on the steel books. There's a possibility the steel books that they released a couple years ago, with the faces.
Yeah.
It was like the new version of the last the last before the special edition trilogy release of the Faces almost,
Yes.
you know, where it like people were like, why is it all bad guys and Yoda?
Yeah.
I remember that. They might be on there.
Yeah.
But besides that, I was like, where do those exist anymore? Did anyone like that? I thought it was kind of cool. I thought that's what they were going to do on the new movies for a while until we went to see a little film called Force Awakens, right?
Yes.
And what happened there?
Well, so I wanted to bring up before we even got into it, because like the theater going experience is essential to Star Wars. And
yes.
You know, I watch all the prequels in the theaters, and you happen to see special editions and the prequels in theaters. And one of the most iconic things of those movies, and of course in Star Wars in general, is the Fox fanfare. And like that was the way, you know, we had all the trailers. You had the Coke commercial that I cried, you know, before the Rise of Skywalker. I cried at the Coke commercial. And you finally get the dun dun, and you get the beautiful Fox logo, and then you get the Lucasfilm logo, then the movie, you know, Once in a Galaxy Far Far Away, Once Upon a Time, and then you get the you know the ba-da, and it's weird this time seeing the Force Awakens, you know, 5 years ago, just went right to the Lucasfilm logo, and that was a really cool start. And the thing was, it was silent, it was a little bit more reverent, but. Yeah, that was one of the first things. I don't know if they ever considered using the Fox fanfare, because it would had to have been distributed by Fox. But one thing I want to bring up, and Marvel had never did it, but what if they did the "When You Wish Upon a Star" intro before the Force Awakens? Would you have reacted just like you did just now, or you kind of just you literally laughed into your hand? You went, "Oh my god!"
I thought it was absolutely hilarious how many people thought they were really going to start it with Jiminy Cricket and Tinkerbell flying across. I'm like, you guys know that Disney, the company, owns more banners than just...
Yes.
And now they own Lucasfilm, so they could do whatever they want. I was expecting like that fanfare, the Lucasfilm fanfare, because those came out, you know, they released the first time ever on digital. You know, digital movies had been a thing for a while. For years. And then it's like, when are we going to get Star Wars on digital? Disney buys it. They're like, boom, now you can have them on digital. You can take them literally anywhere. That has Wi-Fi, or if you've downloaded it, you know, like if you have a lot of space, go for it, guys. It was a long press release. But anyway, I thought it was absolutely, because I saw that all the time and on Facebook, all the groups and stuff like, oh man, it's going to be cool. And people made mock-ups of what it would look like and stuff. And I'm like, guys,
really? Get
on the level with me. Do you really think they're going to come in like you're going to sit down? All right, here's the start. We're going to go watch Star Wars. Let's get ready. Here's the opening moments. Ba-na-na-na, like the train and stuff. They'll go like, na, and I'm not knocking it. I'm a Disney guy. I like Disney. Frozen 2 is legit an awesome movie to me, okay? That movie spoke to me. It's the Last Jedi of princess movies, Disney princess films. That's something we can talk about some other time.
Maybe.
But trust me, I got thoughts. But, dude, can you imagine the fervor with which people absolutely like hate, like channeling my inner Josh Groban. I'm not really sure what's going on there. It reminds me of Napoleon Dynamite. You know, they do the Happy Hands Club and stuff. Remember the the fervor with which the people who didn't really care for The Last Jedi, right? Like that really exploded after that. Not that it didn't exist before that. I know there were people that weren't happy with people were like, oh, Force Awakens is just a rehash of A New Hope and stuff like that. Like it's beat for beat, it's the same movie. It's like, well, you know, if the movies were different in every way, maybe, sure. Wait, oh no, never mind. That doesn't make sense. But can you imagine if it had started with that? I mean, we would have had like
that would have been bad. From
the dudes
start.
that shall not be named, who don't deserve to be named,
Yes.
who are a bug in Star Wars fandom's collective butt. They would have had a field day already. Like they would have gotten started like years ago.
It would have been ridiculous.
So
but that's the thing. I don't know why anyone even thought of that, because I believe Ant-Man and other things that were recently acquired by Marvel at the time, 2012 on, were all under the all under the Disney, studios, not Disney Studios. I'm sorry, the Disney distributor,
Marvel Studios.
Yeah, they're under Marvel Studios, but they're owned by Disney. And I at no point in any of those, intros
Exactly.
did you get that. And the only movie I foresee it happening in, and I want to hear, you're gonna love this hot take. Feel like Deadpool's gonna start off with it, but in its own crazy weird twist way. Now that Deadpool is owned by Marvel, what is
I could see. Well, see, they'll probably still use, because they own the 20th Century Fox banner now,
yes,
right? So
also
they can just
true.
put that on there. But they would totally. Ryan Reynolds would totally do that. I could also see it happening on Taika's Thor movie, like Thor: Love and Thunder.
I thought you meant Taika's Star Wars movie. That would be crazy.
Oh no, dude! I mean, I don't think he would do it on his Star Wars movie, but like Marvel, you can I think it would happen. It could happen on Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
I think it could happen on those meta characters, the characters who are like Thor's basically Guardians of the Galaxy. This is becoming a Marvel podcast, but anyway, yeah, that was the thing. I was like, they don't start off Marvel movies.
No.
And that was a conversation. I worked at a movie theater at the time, and they were like, you think it's going to have the... I'm like, no. Why would it? I don't hate it. It's fine. It's in front of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I think those are decent.
Yep.
It's just quiet. It's just, whoa, and there it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I think Disney they were smart enough to go, no, it's going to be its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that Bob Iger's done. He acquired all this stuff in his tenure or whatever, and just kind of let them, to an extent, fly their own path.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Stuff like that.
Well,
but
that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's, you can talk about the Disney logo forever, and you can talk about the Fox theme forever, but the other to me, the Fox theme has a little bit more importance in terms of Star Wars than anything else, especially dealing with that is the only company that did not deny Star Wars. You know what I mean? And that's a big deal, because when George was going around, he went to Universal, he went to everyone, he even went to Disney, and Disney was like,
let's say, did he? Because I know later he was like, I know Disney's going to want this later.
Yes.
After it was a phenomenon.
And Alan Ladd Jr. was the only kind of young exec who was like, we should get this. And he funded it, and they made sure it was all done. And honestly, if it wasn't for Fox, none of these movies would even be into existence. And so it's weird now that Fox has been acquired, or it's called 20th Century Studios now, has been acquired by Disney. It makes me really think, would they ever do it again? Would they ever bring it back in? And that's kind of how I wanted to approach the combo too, because yours was, interesting, I hadn't thought about that. And then you made me think, well, it could it be done again? And the significance of that theme to Star Wars, I mean, literally, a lot of my childhood was ruled by that theme. The Simpsons. The Simpsons movie came out in theaters, and they had Ralph singing the ba 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 ba, and I was like, that, and I'm getting chills talking about it. That was so iconic. And
sorry, I'm not laughing. It's just funny that, thinking of getting chills at them singing
yes.
bah, 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 bah.
But
awesome.
it's still
you're right, though.
It's still a part of the DNA, and
and I didn't know, honestly, until the last couple of years that George pulled the old title card.
There we go.
And the classic theme.
1932.
It had changed before that, and he pulled back the one from 30 years before all that.
Yep.
And because when you're watching it as a kid, you're like, oh, it's the old, that's what the theme's been. You don't have this context of history. Now that I have that context, I'm like, I see now why.
Yes.
To A New Hope, at least, and especially, it's a part of it. You know, it's that he made that specific choice so that it felt for the adults who watched those Saturday morning serials like him as a kid got the same feeling, right? You wanted it to feel classic, to feel grand. Yep. Okay? And that theme, that fanfare, it's a fanfare, really, more than that. The 20th Century Fox fanfare should just be, that's the definition of a fanfare.
Yes, it is.
It's just that theme, is the ba-ba-ba-ba. It's instantly recognizable, even if no one, like, knows the exact name of the company or whatever, or the, like, 20th Century Fox. They know the logo, they know the theme instantly. Everyone knows it.
Yes.
It's instantly iconic.
Well, there's a really big thing to bring up, too, especially because you say that he's it's literally, it was also a ripped recording from like the 1940s. That's what George put in front of the original Star Wars. And
by
then
some like
everything
big time composer, right? Yeah. Like some big time composer had done one for like their 30th anniversary or something.
And then later, John Williams went on to record all the following ones for Star Wars films, and I imagine they then ripped that and did it with all the other films that came after that. Like that was John doing it, like doing the playing of it, right? And then, it's even crazier. John, in some cases, still plays it before he has like a film screening of it. Like, you know, like they have the movie with the symphony going on the same exact time.
Right.
John will still play it. So that's something I think is really cool. He will still do
that's awesome.
The Fox fanfare.
Even when they released, like, back when the special editions came, back when Star Wars was released on DVD, like the original movies for the first time. That silver box, I still have that one. I love that classic, like, case, right?
Eric has that one too. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And they released with those the full soundtrack. This is why I'm so addicted to, like, this is why my battle cry, I say, is give me the full soundtrack. Don't stop giving me the chopped up little piece soundtrack. It's like, here's 20 tracks. Give me the full
everything,
500 or however many are in there. I want every little obscure piece of music because of those.
Yeah.
And the first track on the first disc, because they were 2 discs each set, like each trilogy movie. Yeah. And that, man, I'm getting sweaty just talking about this. Not just because it's hot in my house, even in my basement.
Yeah.
The first track was 20th Century Fox fanfare. Every time. And it has importance. It is important. And it has its place in the history of Star Wars. And it should have its place in the history of Star Wars for sure.
Totally. And it's a weird thing. Star Wars has always had logos that have been super iconic and had their own places in history. For example, the THX theme, another one, not even a theme. It's the sound, you know, and like
the THX tone.
Oh, I mean, like it's a great way to test your sound system.
That's been parodied all over the place too,
because man. it's that, you know, it's that low to high.
Would we get a copyright strike for playing that?
Probably.
Man, that's crazy because that's not even like a. It is. It's like a.
It's so cool. It's so pretty.
It's like some dude was on his Korg in the 80s with George. It was like, George, check us. It was Rick.
That's amazing.
It was Rick. It was old
Rick Villanueva
himself.
Rick Villanueva?
No, not Rick. No. He's not cool enough. He wishes he was cool enough.
Jerry's told demeanor change. I don't know if anyone noticed that.
Rick McLovin McCallum. I'm joking,
no.
Rick. I love you.
Whoa.
No.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's just like Rick McCallum's back there. Hey, George, I know we're not really supposed to meet until the 90s, The Young Adventures of Indiana Jones, but check this out. In that sweet dude. I'm trying to beep. Like you need like a bleep button so you could do like a good Rick McCallum impersonation.
Dog, y'all, hey,
it's friggin' sweet.
Oh, you.
Oh, dude.
Oh, my
dude. Anyway,
you got.
My favorite parody of that, by the way, children of the '90s. You know, if you were like Rez will know what I'm talking about because he's got Pinky. He's got the brain as his logo on his avatar, but. Tiny Toon Adventures was basically the next generation of Looney Tunes, and it's better than it sounds. It's actually still pretty funny. But they had an episode where they went to the movies, and they did a parody of that, and like it goes blah, blah, and like the light on the screen got so bright, and like there's sound waves coming out, and people are flying out of their seats, hitting the back, and then it like said whatever the parody name was, and then it said the audience is now deaf. And then went on. I was like, that's the best parody of that I've ever seen.
It's funny because that sound is really the best way. I test my surround sounds with it. Like it's just like it's perfect
iconic
tone. It's the perfect tone. And then we've got the Lucasfilm theme, which you sang earlier. Can you sing it again? Because I've already forgotten it.
It's basically just it's what they used at the end of some of the trailers.
Yeah, you're out.
When they cut to the ba ba da 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 ba da da ba 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 ba. You know.
Yep.
That was terrible. Look it up.
No.
We're not going to play it
because that's what they used in the Phantom Menace trailer. I'm pretty sure, or one of those
except they don't. Yeah, they cut off the bump ba da da bump ba. They just cut off it bump ba da da bump.
Yeah.
And so,
there
you go.
It's funny because
like Andy Bernard.
Star Wars has now been doing newer things, things in terms of intros. And one of the newest ones, the ones I think I'm actually favoriting the most, is the Mandalorian intro with the and it shows the helmets, vroom, vroom, vroom. If they started off movies that way without having a Star Wars in the title, because the Mandalorian doesn't say Star Wars, the Mandalorian, it just says the Mandalorian. That's the best way to kind of get someone prepared for like, oh, I'm about to watch a Star Wars thing. I didn't know that, because some people might not know because some people are kind of oblivious. Let's be honest, and they could go and see the new,
Let me just say, my parents' generation in the 80s and 90s paid no attention. They just started doing the ratings. Mm-hmm. They paid no attention.
Yep.
My mom and dad took me to see Jurassic Park when I was 6, and I loved it. They had to make me turn around and stuff. My mom was afraid. She was like, oh, you're going to be scared. But I was like, no, this is awesome. But like our parents notoriously don't pay attention to ratings and stuff. So it's like so many people, actual just real moviegoers who aren't fanatics like us, are just like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh, neat. That had the space guy helmet.
Uh-huh.
The guy, Boba Fett.
Yes.
Boba Fett, right?
Boba Fett.
Baba.
But,
Baba the Hutt.
It's weird to us that intro is kind of a prep, like kind of a mental prep. You kind of your brain has to turn on now because you're sitting in the theater or you're actually watching it at home and you're like, okay, well now it's time to really pay attention. Now it's time for the actual main show. And one thing I want to say is because the big part of this episode really was kind of like, what do we prefer? Do we like the silent?
Yeah.
Do we like the Lucas? Do we like the Fox fanfare? It just depends. And I think, if Star Wars were to take a new route, a whole new approach, I think this Mandalorian intro will be the intro used in theaters or the intro used just for Disney Plus shows. It's my gut feeling. What's your take on that? What do you think, G?
I think that is 100% going to be the Disney Plus live action show.
Yeah. Cassian Kenobi.
Title card.
Whatever,
that's the... I wouldn't... You guys know I go on journeys sometimes. I'm the positive guy who likes all the stuff everyone else hates. But sometimes just out of spite. Mm-hmm. But, a lot of times it's out of pure love. Okay, 100% of the time it's pure love.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think I'd get used to it, but I think it would be weird. I like it for the TV stuff, and it is like, oh, this is interesting. It's new. It's different. It's very modern.
Yes.
Crazy modern.
Dude, when you first watched that episode of Mando, I was like, what is this? I was like, this is amazing. It's one of those where you're like,
ooh, new intro? Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah.
And every one of us was like, whoa. We looked at our spouses, girlfriends, boyfriends, whoever, your significant others, or best friends who were just like, oh, this is a cool show. We're like, wasn't that amazing? And they're like, Star Wars helmets? Yeah, cool. Don't you see those in every movie? Like
the lights going across it, 3PO's head. I was like, what is
the
this?
lightsabers going? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
what it is. It's like light from lightsabers, red and blue.
But
So good.
but it's funny because for the crazy fans like us, it's like, it's a new thing. What a cool new thing, and it gets you hyped for it. But back to the lecture at hand, because there's a lot of things to be said about this
Lecture.
Yeah,
Is it that hard to listen to? No.
It's a lesson. You're getting a lesson from Mr. Jar today, kids.
Getting schooled. Oh yeah, just shut me out.
Silence or the Fox fanfare? Jerry,
Sorry.
hot take.
Sorry.
What do you want to say? What do you think? Just on the spot. Silence or the Fox fanfare?
Silence of the Fox fanfare. I got to just say it quick.
And in general,
Silence.
no, you can give more of an answer.
Oh, silence.
Yeah.
What are you? Well, you said you're silence too, right?
I'm a silence guy, but my purist in me, in terms of, because I like,
I know.
you're
like the
you're a
pure.
special edition purist, and I respect it. But I'm an OG trilogy purist in terms of its cuts.
Respect is an interesting word with how you treat it online.
You're a moron,
definitely.
yeah.
No, I'm just-
And so I hope it doesn't burn your face again.
We go on.
I love the silence now. I do. I think it almost like that moment in the theater, if you're in the opening showing night, it's like, kind of chatter a little bit or just noise. Literally when that logo shows up, it's like air is so
everyone.
Dude, it is the craziest thing. Like air is just like drained out of that room instantaneously, and then like the logo, and then bam, or even Solo, or Rogue One, done, the intro it had. It works. It almost makes it, you said something to me in private, more of a reverent. It's more of like a personal, like you have to respect it experience.
It's like you are about to watch Star Wars.
Yes.
This is it is a logo it's basically them going, we don't have to have any catchy tune. You know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Because of the brand that we put out. This is Lucasfilm, it's Star Wars. Or Indy or whatever, like we haven't seen an Indiana Jones movie with this yet. But
Good point.
that's going to be interesting too.
That's going to be interesting. Wow, Jerry, hot take. Pretty good.
Hey man, but and we're probably going to see, a Disney Plus sequel to Willow with that too. So think about that. That logo, the slow fade in, the silver, that it's like it was gold for a little bit. Like it would go kind of gold and then green back in the day. And I think with the Lucasfilm fanfare version, it kind of went gold to like a green or whatever, or green to gold. It almost like evolved into what it is. And now it's like this silver where it's like, it's behind us. If you look in between the little things here, you can see the S.
I'll get both of us off the screen real quick so we can see it.
Yeah, there you go. Look at, okay. There you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at how gorgeous. Look how gorgeous this is. Look at that.
Look at this handsome man. No. But Jerry, I agree, man.
Where is he?
It's one of these things in Star Wars fandom. And now you bring up a good point. The Indiana Jones movies will be different. Willow will be different. Things like that will be different. And like the Lucasfilm logo itself has gone through several changes. And recently we experienced one that was quite shocking. It was the Clone Wars, the Siege of Mandalore arc used the green text, the original text, like from the early 70s, and it was insane, dude. That was insane.
That was awesome.
That was what was crazy.
What was crazy about that was they had like set up our expectations through the whole beginning of that season. Those first two arcs of just, hey man, we're back to the Clone Wars, business as usual. And then that Friday morning that the Siege of Mandalore dropped, all of us like turned on the TV and were immediately like blindsided by like a brick or like a bat with nails in it of like nostalgia. Bat with nostalgia in it, in a good way. In a good way. It was like, boom!
It's interesting because, it hit you with nostalgia and it hit me with nostalgia. It hit a lot of people with nostalgia. And it was about 25% of my Twitter talking about it. You know, it was like
everyone was like,
"You're like, what?
Did you see? Whoa!"
Yeah, and
then it started with the actual like fanfare. It wasn't. I don't know if Kevin Kiner did a rendition of it.
I don't
know. But it was like legit, like the Star Wars theme, not the Clone Wars theme. It was Star Wars, and that was.
That was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing, and like that green text is so cool. It's like, I mean, it's so funny. I can name a bunch of production companies. I can name a bunch of logos from big distributors and stuff. We all can. Universal, Paramount. You can name a ton of them, and even the Jerry Bruckheimer films with the tree in the desert. Like you as a film goer, you recognize and you make those connections with stuff. But it's so weird because I don't have a crazy love for those things like I do when I see the Lucasfilm logo. Like, it's something in my heart is like, all right, new thing, new everything. And to get the green one before the Clone Wars, it was just like, it was just like a slap in the face in a great way.
I think I immediately thought of you because I know you love watching those versions back before even like the purest versions you can find where it is that classic green that was back in the 80s and 70s and stuff. I think even on the 95 or 96 discs, the Faces edition.
Yeah.
I don't think it was even on that one. I think it had already moved to a Lucasfilm.
I'm going to look into that.
We'll have to look into it. We didn't do the research on that for this, but anyway, we are taking a deep dive, but not that deep dive.
It's funny because it's something that like we would all notice now, and maybe it's because of our collective fascination with how movies Star Wars movies start. But like I would have never have noticed it before, and it's funny because we even did a poll, and we'll go to those results in a little bit about like what we preferred. And it's weird, like if they brought back the Fox fanfare, I don't know if I'd like it. Because to me it's an era thing. That was an era. That was 100%
right. Well, that was what I heard so many conversations on different podcasts. Like they have to bring it back. They own it now. So I want them to put it on all of them.
I don't know.
And I was like, I get it, but I just, I love that. Just that, the silence. It's like, it reminds me of, okay, you're in church now. Not to say like, but like, here it is. It is like that kind of a feeling of okay, this is a different experience than any other movie going experience you usually have.
Yes.
If you're a fan of this, it's like that comes up, you're like, and even the people who are just there to see it, everyone is like,
so
immediately.
This is a cool conversation because I hadn't thought about this. Jerry and I are both pretty big fans of Marvel. We see probably each movie that comes out in theaters at least twice. That's just how we roll. Marvel has been doing things recently where they play with that logo. Like, I can name 4 different times recently. The first one being they've been using a lot of different music over the logo. They've used studio recorded music by musicians, by like classic rock bands and stuff. They've also used that, dun 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 dun, the great theme, but they've been using sound.
They've had 2 great fanfares, by the way. Like, those to me, those are iconic. Dun, 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 I love those things.
Well, like, so the ones I want to bring up real quick. 3 of Marvel's biggest movies recently have had different songs for their logo. The first one was the Infinity War, one of the top selling movies of all time. Infinity War was the soundbite of the Asgardians getting. It's
just like radio chatter.
Yep.
Like, and we're not a Warcraft. We're not a Warcraft.
Yep. And it shows the heroes.
Haunting.
Shows the heroes still. Then you get to see Captain Marvel, which used the theme, the dun 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 dun, the great thing, but it showed Stan Lee's face. And I'm gonna tear up. That was so good. But
that was awesome.
They showed they did a tribute to Stan Lee during all that, and it had the theme. And then you got another variation, which is Endgame, the highest grossing film of all time, Endgame. It had I forget, like a pretty good classic rock song, or just like
I forgot the song.
Somber song from the 70s. And it didn't have.
I can play it in my head. I don't know the words though.
It didn't have half the heroes in it. You know, all the heroes that were there were cut out of that scene. So like, I think it's kind of fun that they play with their title card. Like, really, I think it's pretty awesome. What do you think about all that?
That's their brand, right? Like that's their whole like. We're like, you know who it is. Mm-hmm. We're gonna kind of every film. It's in the same universe, but every film has its own personality.
Yep.
So for maybe if it's a character's first outing, it's the Marvel. You know, if you've been with this character a couple of times, or it's an Avengers movie, you know the drill. We're gonna kind of play with it. And Endgame, Infinity War, and Endgame were big events.
Well, Ragnarok,
it's something that they've been building up to for 10 years, right?
Yeah, Ragnarok had one where all the colors bled out of it and like launched towards. No, wait, that was Guardians 2. Guardians 2 had all the colors on it, and then it warped out of itself, and then it went to the Guardians.
Oh
intro.
yeah, like it's kind of 70s looking.
And it's kind of cool that they can play with it, and maybe one day we'll get to a point where Star Wars can play with Lucasfilm logo, or even in terms of playing with the Fox fanfare in a weird way. I mean, you never know. People would lose their mind, but
I tend to try to be a little more optimistic about like fandom, but at the same time, what was it? I was on streaming Star Wars the other night, and I was talking about how, like, you know, they talk about how time is not. There's no such thing really as the past and the future.
Yes.
Just one constant now.
Yeah.
And that's what time is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's like Star Wars Twitter and Star Wars fandom. There's one constant gripe.
Yeah.
It's just, there's not the past gripe and the future gripe.
Yeah.
There's just a constant, like, air of gripiness. Like, it's like, well, what are we arguing about today, guys? All right. Okay. All right. Let's get on it. Which one of us are shills and which one of us are
party.
Horrible people?
Blank's party is over.
Die.
It's just,
I don't know.
It's ridiculous. And like,
it's we love our space war.
We do.
You know?
We do.
And
as
we
should.
we love to have opinions on whether or not a film company that's been around for a century or more should have their old fanfare from like decades ago on this movie, because it's important to the structural integrity of the plot that I hear a bump 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 bump. Yeah.
And
again,
you know, it's funny because
it's rad. It's awesome. I love it.
It's amazing. And we put a poll out there. I'm going to read what Jerry wrote for this poll. And y'all, this was tight. Like, this was like neck and neck.
I can't believe
Jerry posted, "All right, Bombad fam, it's poll time. The moments, I don't know why I read that. The moments before a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away are such a crucial part of our love of Star Wars. But which one do you feel is essential to the DNA of the saga?" Okay, and the options Jerry listed were the classic Fox fanfare, Lucasfilm fanfare, or the silent Lucasfilm logo. Okay, 88 votes in this, and I love that Twitter doesn't show you who voted, because I think it's very interesting. 88 votes, and it ran for about 24 hours. Okay, so here are the readings. Jerry, you ready? Here are the readings. Classic Fox fanfare came in at 33%, second place. 33%. Crazy. The numbers are weird. Lucasfilm fanfare came in at 30%. All right? And last but not least, the silent sequel trilogy Lucasfilm logo came in at 37%. Y'all.
You mean first but not least?
Yes. So, yeah. I'm sorry.
No, I'm joking.
No, but you see what I'm saying? It's crazy how neck and neck.
That's a tight
this is
race.
Like truly like 1/3 almost of each one. It's nuts. It is crazy. So, how do you feel about that, Jerry? A lot of people, second to the most, said the Fox fanfare. I think that's interesting. How do you feel about that?
I don't think anyone really is nostalgic for the Lucasfilm fanfare.
Yeah.
I really dug it.
Me too.
I mean, it's just Star Wars music.
It's kind of a warm.
Is all
it's
it is.
Warm. Yeah, it's like it's got this like.
It's very. I loved when they would end, and that's from I think Return of the Jedi. I think that's like a. It's at the end of one of the suites, I think, that John did.
Yes, it is. At the very end of the credits. It is. Yep. 100% correct.
But it's like that, just that bum, maybe because it was used so much in like the prequel marketing and stuff. That banana, or The da-na part is what I remember. The da-na bum, da-na bum, ba-na, and all that.
Yeah.
Which isn't in the fanfare. I just really wanted to do it.
You're cute.
But I don't know. I think I was surprised that the silent sequel trilogy, the new era Lucasfilm logo, won out. I mean, just by I'd say by a nose. I'd say by I don't know. It's a little more, but it's not much more than the classic the classic facts fanfare.
God, what's wrong with you?
Words, no brain good. But dude, I don't know. What do you think? Because I don't know. You see it right there. I don't know. It's so close. It's so because even the Lucasfilm fanfare is 30%.
Yeah, look, I'll pull it up. It's crazy.
Oh my goodness, guys.
It's like super close. It's just like,
do you think that, I wonder if people understood, do you think people understood the Lucasfilm fanfare, which one that was? I think they do.
I think so.
It's like, wow, it's so close on all of them. That's what's so surprising. And I thought, honestly, it was going to be a majority, like a landslide.
Me too.
For the classic fanfare.
Me too. It's weird.
And man, was I pleasantly surprised.
Me too.
Because we found out, we were both like, you dig that one more?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool. We can be best friends now.
That is what took it. That is what took us to the next level. That was it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And
that's all we were waiting on.
Not only did we do the poll, but we had people come and comment, and then we had some great remarks. Look, we got one from Sir Callus Kenobi at Geek Source. They said, "I love the Fox fanfare, but there's something special about the silent opening before the
Wait. Did you just say fanny fair?
No, I said fanfare, you pervert.
I thought you said the Fox fanny fair, like Scott. Where are you going in your spare time? You are a Catholic school educator, sir.
Oh my gosh.
Please.
Quit it. Let me talk, Jerry.
Okay, go on with your fanny fair.
I kind of like that. That could be a shirt. The Fox fanfare. Okay, I love the Fox in there. But there's something special with the silent opening before the blast of the title theme. It gave me chills when I first saw The Force Awakens. That's pretty cool. Gave them chills. Awesome. Wow, I didn't see. I think it's an interesting statement because I don't know if it really gave me chills. More or less, it made me like more aware.
I don't even know if I really talked about how did I say how I felt the first time seeing that. It was, man, what was I feeling? I think it was kind of like, whoa, there's no music. What's going on? And then, like, I think I did get chills though, because it's that reverence and all that kind of stuff.
It's special.
It's just like, this is something, again, like we've been saying, this is something special. Yeah. Here it is. Here we go. I kind of want it. Anyway, go on. Let's read more comments. Another
great one from a big fan of ours, Rebel Scum Texan at Rebel Scum Texan.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Said, this is a tough poll. In 2015, I would have said that the Fox fanfare was essential, but as time has gone on, I don't see it that way anymore. I take each film as it is. I like that because it's different with each film. It's a good approach. Like. And then Royal Farm Boy said second and under there. Great fan of the show.
Well, we know that's how you are, Anthony. You lovable oaf. You
angel. Are you an angel?
You little angel. Are you an angel?
You an angel?
I hear they live on the moons of Iago. Okay, anyway, let's move on.
So, another one we got from this stranger loser.
Who is this guy?
Look at this stranger loser.
Is he allowed to be on social media? I don't know.
Him? His name's Andy Lemire.
Andy Lemire?
I can't pronounce it.
Who is that?
I don't know. And his name is Lemiracle. How stupid is that name?
How pompous.
Oh my God, it's gross. Okay, he said,
"Love you, Andy."
Whoever this guy is, I FaceTime him frequently, which is really funny. The silent fanfare is the calm before the proverbial storm.
Nice.
Yeah, I like it.
Very nice.
Good point.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, it's funny because like. I get that. Like, and I don't like seeing that in my movie goings, but that's the thing that happens, you know? People getting excited. Do you like cheering whenever the Lucasfilm or Star Wars logo shows up? Because I'm not really a big fan of it. I almost kind of like it silent.
I'm fine with it because I don't know. You go to the opening night. I am craving the next big.
You're expecting it. You're expecting it.
I'm craving the next big shared experience with these people, right? That's why I'm really hoping that the old Rona don't take out our movie-going experiences
it won't
forever. I don't think. I mean, they'll find ways and stuff, but I don't know. I'm missing it. Of course, there's nothing big out right now.
Yeah, that's the funny part. Katie was like, "Let's go see a movie." I'm like, I don't want to see anything in theaters, and I don't
honestly
think
the last like amazing experience I had in a theater, like shared experience, was watching, and I had this multiple times with Endgame.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, there's so many moments in that movie that they've been like building up the tantric, like waiting for these things to happen, and boom, it happens.
Oh, it's great.
I don't know, that was great. But I'm okay with a little bit of cheering and stuff.
Too.
I've had that, Lucasfilm comes on, woo!
See,
like, usually one person per showing until you're going like 2 months out.
Yeah.
Before, then it's like just the moms who are like, I'm just trying to keep my kids quiet for a couple hours. And you.
See, I like it opening night. I like it opening weekend. I think anytime after that's a little excessive. It's funny, some movies do get that out of people. And I really was a big fan of, how they start a lot of these films, like the Star Wars and the end games and all those big in the end games and all the Marvel movies. Marvel usually opening nights,
all the Star Wars,
really Marvel opening nights usually bring out a lot in people, and I love that. But it's
a rowdy crowd.
It's interesting. It is very interesting because I do like the proverbial, a little bit, but. It depends on the moment. We got another one.
Maybe Mr. LaMiracle was referring to like an internal,
probably.
I know that all of us as Star Wars fans don't like it when someone externalizes a no or a yes or anything. Mm-hmm. We don't really care for that, especially when it's long and drawn out like that one. Hey, take it up with George.
Take it up with God.
I oftentimes when something happens I don't like, I go out on my balcony and I stumble around like Frankenstein and scream no.
He tears open pillows. Just lets the feathers fall out.
Usually, when someone says that the prequels suck, that happened every day. I got a fan mail that I would go out on my balcony and I'm like, I'm gonna put an even longer no in Return of the Jedi, you pricks.
And he did. So
that's all you get, guys. That's all you get. He's just gonna keep putting stuff in. Anyway, Chris King.
Our next submission is from Chris King at Chris from KY. The months leading up to The Force Awakens, I thought it would be so cool if Disney created a spin of their own intro that would mimic the Fox one. Looking back, that would have been really, really stupid. You know what, Chris?
He put a probably in there. He put a probably. Give him the benefit of the
think it would have been probably pretty stupid to do that, too. Just like imagine like Mickey doing it.
Can you imagine like the screen or like the castle and stuff, but like they got the lights and stuff? And it's like the camera panning below it. And Tinkerbell flies out and
a choir of
has
goofies.
Like a big timpani drum. Brum, 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 brum,
A choir of goofies going, gorsh, 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 gorsh.
Choir of goofies?
Yes.
like, see, Star Wars, we cloned Goofy. Woo! It's relevant.
God,
right?
that would be insane.
What? That was 2002? Sorry.
I can't believe, it's funny, like, I don't know why anyone thought it would be such a bad thing for Disney to buy Lucasfilm. I don't understand. I still don't. That can be a whole different discussion. I could be all
some other time maybe. I mean, Lucas has always said that's for a while before the sale happened. He wanted it to go like before he died. He wanted to pass it to like Disney or something. Someone who would continue it and take care of it and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think he got a little bitter after the first breakup or something.
Yes.
After it all hit in. After like it set in, he went on, whatever Graham Norton show or whatever and went, no!
Charlie Rose.
Charlie Rose, that's the one. One of those British guys. I don't know.
So Charlie's not even British. I don't know actually. Then
is he not?
No, Charlie Rose.
I don't have cable.
The white guy that sits like this. Andrew Seiner at Star Wars Ramblings wrote this in. I personally died when the Force Awakens silent opening happened. The anticipation of years being ripped apart by a deafening, violent silence. Interesting. I can see why it's almost kind of jarring because you're so used to it. And then it is kind of taken away from you, It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, Andrew, if you're listening, message back to us, comment on that again. Well, do you like it? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, I
if you liked
know,
it, or
right?
if it was just the initial because it is like a drastic change.
Yeah.
It is and it isn't to me. I don't know. It was just kind of like, whoa, what's happening? So, but yeah, let us know.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you like it? Are you doing okay, Andrew?
Well,
we love you, buddy.
Jerry, I don't know if you want to kind of wrap up this discussion or anything, but like I think we've did it, man. This is a great discussion only because like people haven't really talked about it enough, and this might be one of the first time it's talked about ad nauseum.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming up with this idea. I loved it.
Well, no problem. And I am remembering something that also came out of this.
Oh yeah,
and it's mainly it is another window into the canon junkie soul. Guys.
There we go.
I'm a canon junkie. I like consistency, right? Part of me, Scotty, wishes that they would either just do the silence on all of them or the Fox fanfare on all of them. I don't know how you feel about that. That's another point that we can real quick take us out on.
Wow. To me, it's a defining of the era. Honestly, it's just what...
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's like, we've had... This is a crazy statement because it almost seems unreal. We have had 5 new Star Wars film releases without it. And we only have 6 with it. How crazy is that statement? Almost half of them...
That is weird.
don't have it. Almost half don't have it. So sit on that for a second. Because we've now gotten to the part where, the American populace that watches Star Wars or the world populace that watches Star Wars, half of them may be able to recall the Fox theme, and half of them probably won't be able to recall the Fox theme if they're just a Star Wars fan. It's whole new era. I feel like if I talk to my students who are 11, 12, and 13, they probably wouldn't be able to say, oh, that happened before a Star Wars movie, only because they don't notice it, and the ones they've gone to see in theaters don't have it. So
right.
Cool.
If they're watching them on Disney, if honestly, your students don't know what a Blu-ray disc is, probably.
No, probably not.
So they're just watching them on Disney Plus anyway. Mm-hmm. So they'll see the Fox theme.
They will.
So,
But how important is that to them? Because to us, it was pretty important growing up, And particular to you, you've been fortunate enough to see all 9 films or saga films in theaters, including the special edition, right?
With the caveat being, I saw the special editions.
But still,
I know
it counts.
that
it counts.
some people want to take my nerd card away.
I haven't seen a single original trilogy in theaters.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is, let's re-release them, Disney.
God,
come on,
dude, you know how to go.
I mean, Lucasfilm.
If that was a way to get people back in theaters, hell yeah, in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I would love for them to re-release the start doing the 3D again, even though I know people don't want the 3D anymore. Mm-hmm. Let's get, I don't know. We missed the 40th anniversary. Maybe the 50th anniversary of A New Hope, they'll release everything back in.
Probably.
We just got to live 10 more years. All right. Little less than that now.
It's
a little
7.
Less. Not a whole decade.
7 years.
Shave a couple years off at the end.
7 from
and I think we should
be much. Pretty sure it's 7 years.
I think we should be fine.
It.
I'll have a 10-year-old.
Yeah,
almost,
pretty much.
Maybe
But
go big.
Yeah, Jerry, that's a good point. Only because it's been such a big part of our lives, but for the new fans, the kids that I'm teaching, that generation, it hasn't. It's interesting.
Well, and again, I only bring it up because I have a problem, and I just, I want them all to be uniform, and here is a Star War. There you go.
Okay, so you can bring up a good point here.
I love the era.
Disney Plus, and you actually have the complete saga home release as well. So it's weird to sit there and I know you're a big fan of rewatching everything. If you were to rewatch all of them and you get to episode 7, which in terms of saga films, only 3 of them don't have it. That is kind of weird. Yeah. It does feel like a puzzle that has not been finished. Wow, I hadn't thought about it that way.
It's a little, and again, it's a minor thing. I can watch them and I love it. And I love both. Yeah. I love both. It's cool having both of them there. And it's the era.
Oh yeah.
So, but anyway,
it's definitely
those fanfares, man.
It's big,
or lack thereof.
Yeah, or lack thereof. Great discussion, Jerry. I love doing this with you.
Thanks, man.
Now I will.
You got to get off to the fanny fair.
Huh? Yes, pretty much. No. For anyone that has not listened to
what even is that?
I don't know. You can look it up.
Yeah, let's not speculate.
Yo, if you had fun watching this episode or listening to this, please subscribe to our YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, whatever you do to get us. Subscribe to us. You'll get up to date with not only us, but everyone else in the network. Share this. It's an interesting discussion. I'm going to share this to a bunch of people that might be pretty interested in this. Rate us 5 stars on iTunes. Make sure you review us on iTunes. We're loving we got actually 2 new reviews in recently. They're very kind, Jerry. Go look them. Go at them. Yeah.
We might have to read some reviews on a show coming up.
Yes. Oh, that'd be great. Hey, by the way,
maybe we could have done it tonight, but
hold on, wait, Jerry. Our next episode's our 50th episode. We can maybe do something special.
Wait, next week is our 50th? We can release A New Hope into theaters and all the movies. We can watch them in 3D. Let's do it. We'll do it. We'll fund it ourselves.
Have the pool. We have the Lucasfilm pool.
Go to Beyond the Blast Doors Network Patreon and subscribe at the Emperor Palpatine level right now. We'll see what we can do.
We will privately fund that with our Trump bucks.
We know Hello Greedo, and he was just playing A New Hope on his TV,
the 4K
the 77 4K edition.
Yeah.
And I laughed at you guys and said, I just put my disc in. Nerds!
It's amazing. Please keep up with us online at beyondtheblastdoors.com. Don't forget to follow us at Bombadcast. And you know what? Maybe we can do this for our next episode. An episode full of write-ins and messages, okay?
Ooh.
Want to call us? Leave a message at 331-223-9663.
Gonna be
we'll play
down
them on
here.
Next week's episode. Nah, it's too much work. We will play them on next week's episode. It is 331. Write it down, Grandma and Grandpa. 223-9663. Stay bomb.
Write it down like it's the 50s and we can't put any cards on the screen or whatever.
I'm not doing all that, Jerry.
It's old-time radio.
It's too much work for post-production. I wish you understood. You're just dumb. You're like a dumb.
I don't know. I just kind of imagine you going into a tiny box underneath your house and just slaving away until it's done, in chains. Katie comes and knocks on the door with a big stick. Is like, "Are you done yet?" And you're like, "Nope." All right, Jerry says, "Keep
Little
going."
Gremlin.
Yeah.
So anyway, Jerry, what should these wonderful people do?
Oh well, they should. I don't know if you can hear the fireworks, but don't worry, I'm good.
That.
It's not.
I
gunshots.
just heard that.
That one was huge. That's maybe 2 houses down that away. And
yes.
Yeah, that one, honestly, it's going on, but they'll wait. There'll be a quiet pause for 30 minutes, and then all of a sudden, bang, 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 bang. Someone put a popcorn bowl full of shotgun shells in the microwave.
Yeah.
Just that's what it sounds like. I like fireworks. Guys, you should do all those things that we said before. You should call us. Leave us a message for our 50th show, and most of all, stay Bombad. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Oh shoot! I gotta be quiet.
Da da da.
Wasn't that sweet, George? Dude.